Hey cousin, who you chilling with?
I'm chilling with MONIE.
Hey cousins, welcome back to the crib. Your favorite cousin MONIE here. I hope everyone is having a great day today. Please do me a favor and smash that like button on your way in. Hype up this video as it helps us get into the algorithm. And if this is your first time here, consider hitting the subscribe button to become a part of the family. Would love to have you because over here we get into the trending topics, the music, entertainment, a little bit of the mess and the meaning behind it all. So let's get into it because today we are talking about Wale's recent interview on The Breakfast Club, his new album, Everything Is a Lot, and the resurfaced conversation about J. Cole's false prophets. But let's start with the music first because Wale's new album is very personal, reflective, and grounded. He is talking about heartbreak, mental health, trust issues, therapy, and the complications of life. And although we've heard these stories before from Wale, you can still hear the maturity in the writing and the production. Wale told The Breakfast Club, this album feels like his first album, even though it's technically his eighth, because it's a reintroduction to who he is now. And honestly, I agree. Wale delivered. The project is clean, it's intentional, and well crafted. My favorite records off the project at the moment are Power and Problems, Belly, and Tomorrow Today. I've had those three tracks on repeat since I've heard the album. And I truly hope Wale is proud of this body of work. But cousins, I wouldn't be me if I didn't keep it real for a second because one thing about Wale, he is going to complain and he is going to express himself. He is going to speak on his frustrations. He's going to tell you what's bothering him. And at this point, it's almost part of his artistry. And as fans, we are all used to it. And what's funny is I tweeted watching the Breakfast Club interview, and one thing about Wale, he's going to complain with the crying slash laughing emoji. So this wasn't from a place of being mean or hateful, just an observation that even the interviewers, Just Hilarious, Charlemagne, DJ Envy, and Lauren LaRosa acknowledged several times during this interview. And y'all, guess who I found in my mentions complaining some more? No one other than Wale himself. Like, you really can't make this up. He tweeted me saying, anything I say, y'all say I'm complaining. If I didn't have to do interviews, I wouldn't talk to anybody. Some of us have to do press still and answer questions. And now this is just peak Wale because mind you, I did not add him. So someone either sent this to him, tattletelling on me, or he's searching his name. And if he's searching his name, why didn't you acknowledge all of the positive tweets I sent your way, Wale? I talked about my favorite song from your album. I talked about you being talented. When you dropped your What's the Word single, I tweeted about how that song is a bop and I was playing it back to back. When you even previewed new music, I told you to drop that shit because it sounded so good. I praised your new album as soon as I heard it, and all of that got ignored. You skipped all of the praise, all of the support, all of the flowers just to respond to that one tweet that wasn't even negative, just so you could complain some more. At a certain point, y'all, this is a trauma response from Wale. He hones in on the negativity even when he's surrounded by love. And I think what's funny about the tweet that he sent my way is that Wale mentions the need to still do press and interviews as if that was the focus of my tweet. It wasn't. Nobody said anything about interviews or press. You brought that up, and you brought that up because in this interview as well, you literally said that you don't like the fact that you still have to promote yourself after all of these years. And I mean, yeah, that would suck, especially when seeing your peers like Cole, Drake, and Kendrick. They don't need to do press to promote an album. So I get why you were upset that you still have to do that, but why are you taking that out on me? That's not cool. Reminder, you haven't had a hit in years. Of course you need to do press. Of course you do. But that's not my fault. But okay, Wale, let's move on because again, this album is really good. And I'm not no hating ass bitch. I'm gonna give you your tens when you deserve your tens and be objective, despite you attempting to call me out over your own insecurities. I'm gonna let that slide. Now, let's get into the real headline, which is J. Cole and False Prophets. So during the interview, Wale was asked if there are still artists he can lean on in the industry. His answer was basically, there used to be. And he recalls a time in his life where he reached out to both Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole after the birth of his child, sharing a vulnerable moment. And then the very next day, after speaking to J. Cole dropped False Prophets.
Looking back on it, just things I was doing. I remember I called Kendrick around that time. We talked about like we just had, that was at that time. And I remember like getting ready to have my child. I talked to Cole. That was probably the only 2 times I really leaned on an industry person, you know, so. But the crazy thing is, False Prophets came out the next day.
I was gonna ask you about that.
False Prophets came out the very next day after. But I ain't take it though, you know what I'm saying? But I think...
You didn't say the record was dropping?
Nah. But, I mean, he said it's not really about me, but I mean, all I'm saying is that, I love him, that's my brother, whatever. I think I kind of halted telling any industry person anything too deep, like around that time. Like I just like, you know what, I don't even want to think that they using this, like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. The answer to that question is no more now.
So, if you weren't around in 2016, False Prophets is a critique of a fallen idol many believed was aimed at someone whose name we don't really need to speak of. Then there's the second verse. Cole describes a rapper who's insecure, bitter, always online, feeling underappreciated and can't see his own blessings. And the people automatically was like, oh, that's Wale. He's definitely talking about Wale. And I mean, it was easy to assume J. Cole was talking about Wale because he was describing things Wale has openly struggled with several times. And Wale himself clearly felt that the verse was directed at him because he immediately dropped Groundhog Day, addressing his anxiety, depression, and his frustrations with the industry. And after the release and in interviews, Wale has stated he wished Cole had come to him directly instead of putting it into a song, but he didn't do that. And despite Wale believing this verse is about him, J. Cole and the coal miners still deny the verse was about Wale. They point to things like the video being shot earlier or Cole wearing summer clothes in December. And sure, valid points, but acting like artists don't create content months, weeks in advance or shoot videos months, weeks in advance and release them when they feel the time is right is idiotic. So let's be serious. Again, Wale responded instantly because the shoe fit. He recognized himself in those lines. And let's not forget, the two also appeared to have squashed any confusion because they were both spotted at an NC State basketball game, I think a couple days after both songs came out. But clearly, almost 8 years later, Wale still feels like the song was about him because in this interview, Wale admits the situation is exactly why he no longer confides in industry friends. He doesn't trust others. Even after trying to downplay it years ago, the truth still slipped out. Wale was hurt. He felt exposed. He felt like his vulnerability was turned into someone else's art. And honestly, I get it because in the last couple of years, J. Cole's mask has been slipping. People are slowly starting to see a version of Cole that doesn't line up with the soft-spoken, humble, middle child persona he's been packaging for all of these years. So no, don't tell me False Prophets wasn't about Wale when 8 years later, Wale still feels like it was. A man calls you after the birth of his child, emotional, raw, proud, and the next day you're like, yeah, upload that. Even if the timing wasn't literal, the optics are terrible. And Cole has a pattern of firing subliminal shots and then acting shocked when people think it's about them. What? Me? No, this wasn't about you. I could never do that to you. You're my brother. My stomach hurt. I've been tossing and turning. No, I can't. I didn't do that. It's just all very interesting to me. But cousins, as I close out this video, please let me know what y'all opinion. Do you think False Prophets was really about Wale? I mean, either Wale is tripping again, because let's be real, he be tripping, as you can see with the exchange between me and him. And this is the same man who once thought an award show gave him an award, but then took it away from him and gave it to Kendrick when Kendrick literally won in a different category. He's been holding on to that idea for almost a decade. Or B, Wale saw himself clearly because the verse was absolutely directed at him. I don't know. Y'all tell me. And before heading out, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check the description for the link to join my Discord. The Discord is where it's at when we are not on the channel. And if you would like to support the channel directly, a link to my Cash App is also available. Again, thank you for watching this video all the way through. Y'all be safe, and I will catch y'all in my next one. Later.
Hey cousin, who you chilling with?
I'm chilling with MONIE.